everyone, Claudia with Crazy Island Studios. It has been, I don't know, about 100 years. That's my guess. About 100 years since I've worked in the Delusions, really? No. In the Hannah Montana book. Was so excited about this project, and then, I don't know, like 400 things happened all at once, or at least over time, and I got super busy and I haven't worked on it in a while. I'm actually caught up on my work. I know, it's shocking, but I am. So I'm going to play in my Hannah Montana book today. So I'm going to work on, this is page number 7, and so far I have no plan. None whatsoever. So I'm going to put some gesso, maybe a layer or two, I don't know, gesso, and then I think I'm going to cover it with a bunch of text from dictionary pages. These ones are really, really nice thin papers that somebody sent me in Happy Mail. I love these dictionary pages. I have my dictionary pages too, but mine are significantly more thick. They're still not bad, but they're a lot thicker than these really nice thin ones. But I don't know, I'll probably use a mishmash of both of these. That's upside down, so is this, so it just didn't matter. So I'm gonna just, start gesso, collaging some of these on, maybe some more gesso to kind of like whitewash it, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm still not really sure where this is going or what I want to do overall. I'm thinking I'm just going to play a little. Playing's good, right? It's fun. I made some homemade stamps the other night. So I'm thinking I'm going to use some of these and just make some marks on the pages with paint, not in black, other colors, and I don't know, I'm not sure yet, just something though. I'm gonna do something. Okay, so yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna do it. Here we go. Doing with this page. I really like the colors. It's fun. That makes me happy. So I'm trying to decide if I want to put a little bit of gesso over this again, just to kind of whitewash it. It's very bright. And maybe just move some of this to the background. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to dry it. And then I think I'm going to drip some ink and spray it with water and see if I can make some sort of flower shapes. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. So let's just give all that a try. Okay, y'all, so that is mostly dry. It only took about a week. It seemed like a week. Air drying this thing, that's a lot of water. Part of it's not dry. I'm going to see if I can coax some flower shapes out of this. What right now looks like a complete and total mess, but we'll see what happens. Just bear with me. Bear with me. It might get better. If it doesn't, there's always gesso, right? First roll of acrylic paint, there's always gesso. You can always cover it up if you hate it. It'll be okay. So I'm gonna see what happens. We'll see together. Okay, so I have some loose, abstract-y type flower shapes going on here, and this is a mixture of acrylic paint and airbrush medium, which means this is going to take a while to dry because it's on there pretty heavy in thick lines and drips, and I'm going to add some more drips after this part gets a skin and dries because I want it to drip only where I want it to drip. I don't want it to drip everywhere. And all of this will just turn into a big black dripping mess if I pick the book up and tip it. So, and if I hit it with too much heat, as you saw, I kind of started messing things up. So I think this needs to sit. And I'm sad to say it's probably going to need to sit like overnight. But I don't think I have much choice but to let this just rest at least for a couple of hours because some of these puddles will move if I move or blow air at them through the heat gun. So I'm going to leave it alone and come back to it later. So for y'all it'll be a second. For me, I don't know when, but I'll get back to it. Okay folks, I am back. It's a few days later because I haven't had time to get in here and work on this, so it's kind of been put to the side. I will say that this black ink and all of this ink, and especially this black, which is in my fine liner. Did I talk to you guys about that? I can't remember. In my fine liner bottle, this one is all messed up. Here's a new one. So fine line bottle, you can get these on Amazon. They're like 2 for $10. They're not really super cheap, but I like them. Fluid, acrylic, and airbrush medium. I do recommend airbrush medium over water, but you can use water in a pinch just because, you know, airbrush medium is an acrylic product. Therefore, it has all the same properties as an acrylic. It'll bind properly, it won't peel off, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So I like to stick with airbrush medium in my sprays as much as possible, as well as my fine lines. And so it does mean though that it takes some time to dry because, you know, it just does. It's really thin. Acrylic product takes a long time to dry. So that being said, this took like 400 years to be totally dry. And by 400 years, I mean overnight, which to me is a super long time. I don't like waiting. I don't have any patience. Part of why I love acrylics, and then I go and use ink and airbrush medium. So it's my own fault. I know this. I do. But it's what I wanted to try and play with and have some fun with, and some of y'all are looking at this going, this is an ugly, hot mess. Paint over it. I'm not gonna. I kind of like them. I know they're weird and they're kooky and they're very abstract-y, but I kind of like them. My husband looked at them and he was like, what, yeah? Those, yeah? Flowers, really? Okay. So if you don't get it, or you don't think it's fun, or you don't like it, please feel free, turn off the video, go look at something else I made. You might like it better, because this is where this is going. I'm sticking with it. I'm kind of enjoying the whole abstract-y blobbies kind of, I don't know, I'm liking it, so I'm staying with it. Now, I want to do some leaves for the stems that are kind of sort of implied with the black lines. So I'm going to use my Inktense blocks because, for starters, they'll get like watercolory and inky, though they're really vibrant, and I don't have green ink, and I don't even have yellow ink to make green ink with my turquoise and my yellow. So I could use paint, but then it's not gonna have that watery, inky feel that this has. This is not really watercolory looking because it's so bright, but because it had so much water sprayed on it, it's got that, I don't know, that flow to it. So I'm going to play with my Inktense blocks, And if you've never used this product before, I'll talk to you just a little short bit about it. If you have used this product and you don't care about this part, feel free to skip forward. I also have Inktense pencils. Derwent makes them in pencil form, which I could use, but I think I'm going to use a lot of it, so I'm going to go with the blocks instead of having to color like a ton. With my pencils, I might use the pencils afterwards for a little bit of detail. We'll see. I don't know. But what they are is well, the pencils are a pencil, duh, but they're ink. It's, yeah, let's put our thoughts together, Claudia. Okay. They're similar to a watercolor pencil, but when you wet them, they turn into a super vibrant ink, like consistency, and they dry permanent, as opposed to a watercolor pencil that you can keep re-wetting and is a lot softer in color. These tend to be very bright and very vibrant in their colors, and I don't know which green I want to use. I have to get to the bottom tray, so I'm going to set the top tray aside to get to my greens. And because it's these, the Inktense blocks, sorry, I didn't even really talk about them. Inktense blocks are the same thing that's inside the pencil in a block form. So you can pull them out and color with them. You will notice all of mine are broken in half. That is on purpose. I am a crazy person. I like to have one side for drawing directly on the paper and one side to just wet with a brush so that I don't do both with the same block. It's weird. I know. I know it's weird. I can't help it. I actually, for a second, was considering putting one half into the top tray and one half into the bottom tray, so I had like half of a block. Like one tray would be just for taking them out and using them, and the other one would be just for touching with my water brush. The only problem with that would be is that the numbers are only printed on one side. So that's the side that I draw with. That way I don't wet over that number repeatedly and lose it until way much later, even though they are in order. But anyways, yeah, they're broken in half. I'm sorry for those of you that this makes you crazy, because I know some people, it broke their heart when I wanted to do this, so I'm just saying. But basically, same product that's in the pencil. You put them on dry, and then you can wet them with a water brush or a brush with water, and they will turn into like an ink, and then they will dry permanent, and you can work on top of them and they won't move. And the colors actually get more bright and more vibrant when they get activated with water, which I think is kind of fun and kind of cool. And you can also use these directly with a brush, touch to them, and then paint with them. You can do the same thing if you wet your brush and touch the tip of the pencil. You can do that too. So what I'm doing, because I don't know what green is going to look like, I'm going to pull out my reference book. This is my mixed media reference book. If you haven't heard about this class, there's a video telling you all about it and how you can find out about it on my channel. I'll put a link down below for you. So I'm coming to my Inktense blocks. I'm not going to drive you guys crazy with plugs for my classes, I promise. And I want to find what color green I want to use. And I want it to be kind of bright and vibrant to go along with the colors that I have going on already, I think. Or do I want it a little lighter so it kind of fades into the background? That's a thought, isn't it? I might do it with something a little bit like yellowy green, like this apple green, and then outline it with a darker green using my pencils. That could be kind of cool. Maybe I'll do that. So that's 1400, and that's really easy to find because it's super bright right here. So that's what I'm going to use, and I find that my reference book is super helpful for making these kind of decisions because I can see what all of the greens will look like once they're activated and everything all at one time. So any hoosies, love the book. You should check out the video that tells you all about it. It is, it's like the best thing I've ever made. Just saying. Most useful anyways. Okay, so I'm just going to draw some, like, just loose leaf shapes just to get some greenery going. Not too much of the product because it's going to spread when I add water, and I don't know how to find I want these or if I just want green blobs like I have the flowers. So it might just be very wet and very loose green blobs once I get done. We'll see what happens. and I think I'm going to use a water brush just to make it easy on myself, which means I have to find my water brush. Where's my water brush? Do you know where my water brush is? Oh, you know what? I have a new one. It's kind of big. That'll be perfect for this. Okay, so I'm pulling out my kind of fatter tipped water brush. I haven't used this yet, so fun. I think it'll be perfect for this to make big blobs. So, okay, so I have to go fill up my water brush. I'll be right back. Okay, so water brush is full. Let's get some water actually into the bristles over here on the side and get it going. And then we'll just see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to get these all the way dry and then we'll come back and see what I'm going to do with it next. Okay, so these are not totally dry, but they're dry enough to do what I'm going to do next, which is to use some black paint to draw around them. I don't want to use the fine liner again because I don't want it to come out too thick, and I want it to have a little more control, I guess, with a brush while I use this. So I'm going to be using... I'm shaking it up right now, I'm sorry. I'm going to be using a number 1 round, and I'm going to be using my high flow acrylics, golden high flow, in just carbon black. And if you don't have high flows, obviously you can use watered down thinned paint or thin it with airbrush medium or whatever you want. These are technically they're airbrush paints repackaged from what I understand. But you could also use black ink if you have some, like India ink or something. I just happen to have this. I'm using what I have. So I'm just going to draw some leaf shapes on my leaves, I guess. Okay, so I actually kind of like that. So let me hit this with the heat gun, get it all dry. I'll be right back. Okay, so my leaves are kind of okay. I think like that they should have some darker green in them just because they look too, I don't know, they look too simple and actually too like realistic, I guess. And not as blobby. I need blobbies. So I'm going to add some darker green to these. I have to decide what color, and I'm thinking, how dark do I want to go? Maybe just that field green that's right below it. That's the one I was looking at and drawn to. So I'm going to go ahead and go with it. And just add a little bit of this in here in like just blobs. Just to, you know, make my leaves a little more abstract. Even though they're outlined as leaves, obviously you'll always know they're leaves. That's not the point. I just want some more watercolor inky look to them. So here we go. I'm wondering, maybe it would even be better if I just sprayed water into them. Let's see. That's kind of cool. And then move it around a bit. Too much water. My book is not flat, so it's just like all rolling around to the same place. That's okay. I'll fix it. I'll blob up some of it. Spread it around a bit. Okay. Contain the drips just a little here, and then I'll get it all dry, and then I'll be back. Okay, just realized I wasn't recording. I'm so sorry. Okay, so what I did is I just grabbed my dropper full of turquoise ink and I put a drop of ink, and I'm using the same inks, these FW inks that I use for the flowers, and then I just tipped the page and let it drip, which I thought was kind of alright. And then I'm just blotting up a little of the excess around here, and actually really kind of loving that. So the messiness of it makes me happy. Makes me happy. Okay, this really needs to get dry. So I'm going to dry it really good and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm liking this, but I need more mess. I just do. I don't know why. I just do. So I got out my dilution sprays. I love turquoise and yellow to make green versus just using green. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to spray some stuff on there and see what happens next. Totally missed. Run away! Run away, green! Alright, but I'm kind of loving this. So, yeah, I like it. I'm such a weirdo. I love this. Okay, let's see if it'll drip. Oh, there's enough to drip. It makes me happy. Okay, so, look at that. That's fun stuff. Okay, gonna try this yet again, and then I'll be back again, I promise. Okay, so while I started to dry this, I realized that I have a lot of green up in here in places between the flowers where I don't want it. So I'm just taking a wet brush and wetting that dilution spray because it never dries. In case you didn't know that. Never dries. And, well, I mean it dries, but it's never not water soluble. So I can just get it wet and blot up some of that green where I'm not wanting it. And then I'll finish drying everything else. And then I'll be back. But as you can see, I can kind of get a lot of it off just by wetting it again. Okay, so I know I might be crazy, but I really like this. I'm having fun. It's craziness, and it's kind of interesting, and it's been fun to make, so I'm having a good time. I think I want to finish it up, because I am going to just leave it. I'm leaving it. I'm going to finish it up with some white markers? Yeah, white paint pens to add some dots that will represent the centers of the flowers. I'm using 2 different sizes, maybe. I don't know. I have them both out just in case. We'll see what happens. Okay, so it's just a hot mess of craziness, and I like it, and I think it's fun and interesting and a little over the top, but it's a lot of fun. I had fun. I like it. I'm leaving it. I'm owning this page because, you know, sometimes you just gotta have fun and play and get messy and let your art be messy and crazy, and it doesn't matter if nobody else understands it. It doesn't matter at all. I like it. That's all that matters. If you like it, that's like awesome sauce and bonus. But sometimes it's okay to just make art for you that you like, especially in your art journals. Make art that you just love or that makes you feel good to make it, even if it's not the prettiest or the most perfectest or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in your art. Just have fun. Sometimes just let yourself play, make a mess, have a good time, and enjoy the process, if nothing else, even if you don't love the finished product. In this case, I really kind of like it. It's very weird and totally not what I usually do, but it was a lot of fun, and that was kind of like the greatest part of it. Yeah, I just like it. I had a good time, so that's that, and I'm sticking with it, and I'm leaving it just how it is because it makes me happy. And I guess that's really all that matters, right? Yeah, so thanks so much for watching, and if you're following along and doing the Hannah Montana project with me, or like way ahead of me, because I started this thing about 400 years ago and I haven't caught up, I know, I keep saying 400 years. I don't know why that's in my head right now, but it is. It's been a long time. It's been a while since I had worked in this. I mean, I think my last page, oh my gosh, my last page is the painted flowers. Yeah, it's been a while since I worked in this, so I needed to do it. I plan on working really hard to finish this because I have a great new idea for a new journal series that I want to do, but I'm determined to make myself finish the Hannah Montana book first because I may not ever come back to it if I don't. If I let myself start that new journal, I may not come back. Ooh, I have to just own that. That's part of me. It's the way I am. I finish things halfway and then I want to start on the new thing. So bad. So I'm making myself finish it. So you might see another Hannah Montana page from me soon. Yeah, right? That would be good. So, okay, well, thanks again so much for watching and for being a part of my YouTube channel. And please hit the thumbs up button if you like my videos. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again so much for watching. Bye for now.